It is September, which means only one thing in the awards world, and that means the Oscars are coming. We have 3 months of films that are going to be coming out, releasing, getting talked about. You're going to see predictions across so many different websites, so many different people talking about the Oscars. It's my favorite time of the year. I see so many great films. I get to talk about so many great films. I get my heart broken year in, year out when my films that I love so deeply aren't nominated for a nomination, awards, or anything like that. But we've seen so many festivals going on, whether it was Venice Film Festival that just transpired, Toronto Film Festival is happening right now, the New York Film Festival is right around the corner, AFI is right around the corner, and that means so many different films, so many different takes, so many different variations of what predictions will look like over the next few months. And I can't wait to dive in. Folks, if you're not aware, the eligibility period ends Tuesday, December 31st. 2024. The nomination voting begins on January 8th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then voting ends January 12th, 4 days later. And then, of course, the Oscar nominations will be announced on January 17th, 2025, with the award show coming on March the 2nd, 2025. Very, very excited about that. So much to unpack, but you know what? What we're going to do today is we're going to give you guys some films that are being talked about from across different websites, some predictions across the board, and we're going to start making our big board together. We're going to make this a universal big board where you tell me some films in the comments. I tell you some films that I believe are going to be in the conversation. Taking a collective effort from some of the conversations that I'm having with individuals, the websites that I'm taking in account for and seeing what their predictions are talking about. But more importantly, check out a few of my friends' websites here, nextbestpicture.com. They have a great extensive list of predictions. Of course, my friend Kenzie over there at offscreencentral.com. We're taking a look at her big board as well. I love Kenzie. What she does over there at that website is nothing short of remarkable. Give that website all the support throughout this award season. They're going to give you all of the coverage that you need this season. But more importantly, let's go ahead and talk about some of the big films that are being talked about right now. Obviously, one of the biggest films this award season that's getting a lot of hoopla is Onori. Onori is a big film that's being talked about which is written, directed, and edited by Sean Baker, starring Mikey Madsen in the role of an exotic dancer that follows her romance with the son of a Russian oligarch. I don't even know how to say that, but yeah, this film has been getting rave reviews across the board. Let me tell you, I don't think I have seen anybody talk about this film and not be like, yes, this is the film of the year. So I can't wait to check it out. Hopefully, it is being released on October the 18th, 2024. That's another opportunity that I want to give you guys to know when these films are hitting theaters or whether they're not, where you can watch them now, basically. You know what I mean? So that's one of the films in the conversation. Another film in the conversation, Sing Sing, starring Coleman Domingo. It's about an imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. Divine J finds purpose by acting in a theater group along other incarcerated men, including a Wari newcomer. The film was obviously released in the summer of 2024. A24, I'm hoping, ramps up the awards programming for this film because Coleman Domingo gives one of the best performances of the year in this film. I love it a lot. Another film in the conversation, Dune Part 2. We all know about Dune Part 2. Personally, still, as it sits right now, 9 months into the year, my number one film, Denis Villeneuve, directed this masterclass of a film that should see nominations across the board, but one for certain I believe is going to see is the best picture. So we got Onori, Sing Sing, Dune Part 2. Those are some of the films that we're talking about right now. You know what I mean? What else is in the conversation? A film that is one of the most talked about films out of Venice and the Toronto Film Festival. That's the 3.5-hour epic historical drama from Brady Colbert, who co-wrote the film with Moni Fastfold, which stars Adrian Brody, Felicity Jones, Joe Alwyn, Alessandra Nilvo, Jonathan Hyde, and Guy Pearce. The film premiered at the 81st Venice International Film Festival, where it won the Silver Lion for Best Direction. Best Direction. That's, you don't have to understand something, guys. Best Director, the only director since 2001 to be nominated and win was Jane Campion. But from 2010 to 2023, one director who won the Silver Lion received a nomination for the same film. The same director managed to win as well. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out. There's no real overlap here, but The Brutalist is in that conversation right now to be in the Best Picture race. There's so much buzz around this film. And you know, there's nothing worse than getting all of that buzz surrounding a film and not really knowing when we can expect the film to come out, right? You know what I mean? It's playing at film festivals, but I'm really hoping to put this one in front of my eyes in the very near future. Let me look up the release date here. Let me see if there's a release date for this thing yet. Is there? No, September 1st. Folks, it's past September 1st. But I would definitely believe that it's going to come out probably in that November, December rank for it to kind of hit that full swing for award season. But that's The Brutalist. The film chronicles 30 years in the life of Laszlo Toth, a Hungarian-born Jewish architect who survived the Holocaust. After the end of World War II, he immigrated to the United States with his wife, Erzsébet, to experience the quote-unquote American dream. Definitely, this one like catapulted to the top of my want-to-watch list. But across the board, like everybody's talking about this film. Again, as I was doing my research, everybody has this in the conversation for not only to be nominated, but potentially win several Oscars across the board. So that's a sight to see. Very excited to see that one. I'll report back to you guys as I do this for you guys so that we can get an honest release date. All right. The next film that's being talked about had its debut at the 51st Annual Telluride Film Festival. It's set to have a limited release by Amazon on October the 25th, and that is Nickel Boys. In 1962, Jim Crow era, Tallahassee, Florida, young African-American Elwood Curtis is falsely accused by the cops of being an accomplice of stealing a car. He is sent to a segregated reform school called Nickel Academy, a fictionalized version of Dozer School for Boys. While there, he forms a close relationship with a boy named Turner as they try to survive the abuse by the school and its corrupt administrators. The film is based on Colson Whitehead's 2019 novel, The Nickel Boys. There's quite a bit of buzz. 82% coming out of Telluride. 11 critics with positive reviews. It's sitting at 8.7 out of 10 on a metric scale. And that's pretty good so far. So far, there's getting a lot of praise. There's been some praises across some Hollywood Reporter gave it some love. I will say Carla Renati from the Wrap applauded Alex Summers and Scott Allar's musical score, casting, and performances. This is going to be pretty interesting to see. David Erlach gave this an A score, which emphasized the film's visual style and story technique. I can't believe, Erlach is really, really he's a hard on films. You know what I mean? I respect what he does for this industry because he is, he's pretty straight on the nose with what he likes to talk about with his films. But Nickel Boys, like I said, limited theatrical release on October 25th, 2024. So very excited to check that one out. It's, again, another one of those films that has reached the top of my list. Another one coming out, let's see here, from Edward Berger. If you guys know Edward Berger, he was nominated for several awards for his All Quiet on the Western Front. The film is called Conclave. It's a psychological thriller that stars Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, about Cardinal Lawrence, tasked with finding the successor of the deceased Pope, discovers the former Pope had a secret that must be uncovered. Coming out of the film festival, this one, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It's got an average rating of 7.9 out of 10. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned a score of 83 out of 100 with only 5 critics on that film. It is set to be released on limited theatrical release on November 1st, 2024, but before expanding the following week. It's scheduled to release in the United Kingdom on November the 23rd. night. So there's a lot of buzz around this film, especially behind Fiennes and his performance in the lead role. So we're definitely going to have that one in the conversation. One that I saw the trailer. As you guys know, you guys watch my content. I'm not a big fan of watching trailers. It's not something that it's not really my cup of tea, but this is a trailer that I watch. It's Netflix's Emilia, Perez. It's a Spanish language French musical crime comedy written and directed by Jacques Audard. And the film stars Zoe Saldana, Carla Sofia Gascon, Selena Gomez, and many, many more. So this one is pretty crazy because we've seen a lot of good. Disgruntled lawyer Rita is tasked with assisting an escaped Mexican cartel leader in undergoing a sex reassignment surgery to both evade authorities and affirm her gender. The film's sitting at 89% on 46 reviews right now on Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic weight average 71 out of 100. And which is, it's in the conversation. It's having the Cannes Film Festival. It won the jury prize. It won Best Actress. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's definitely coming. It's definitely coming hard, and I like it. I'm a big fan of a lot of the people obviously involved in the project, but this is one of those ones that has that vibe, that the aesthetically pleasing, the performances look very good. The trailer just sells you into this crazy cartel-esque world that I'm very, 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 very excited to dive into. But it's one of those films, again, one of the most talked about films of the festival season right now, that's in the front run of being in the Best Picture, Best Actress. Could we see Selena Gomez get a best, I don't know, supporting? I'm not sure if she's supporting or not, but could we see her get a nomination at the Oscars, which would be pretty awesome to go alongside of her Emmy, Grammy. She could be going for the EGOT here before we know it. The latest film from Luca, who has made some truly, truly, truly remarkable films, is in the conversation. His last film, well, Bones and All is one of my all-time favorite movies. That it was definitely a great one. This year, he also had Challengers, which I wasn't a big fan of, but I know a lot of you guys at home were a fan of that film. But for me, it just didn't land, and that's okay, right? But Luca's latest film is called Queer. It's written by Justin Kurtzkis, who also obviously wrote Challengers, who is also the husband of Academy Award nominee Celine Song, and one of the greatest movies ever, Past Lives. But the film is set in the 1940s Mexico City. The film follows an outcast American expat, Daniel Craig, who becomes infatuated with a younger man named Drew Starkey. It follows, but yeah, so it stars Daniel Craig as William Lee and Drew Starkey as Eugene Allerton. The rest of the cast: Jason Schwartzman, Leslie Manville, pretty stacked cast right there. The score was done by Reznor and Ross, Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, which, you know, they make some of the best scores out there. Period. It debuted at the Venice International Film Festival. It's got a 77% out of 30 critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.1 out of 10. Average 74 out of 100 based on 20 reviews from Metacritic. Craig has been widely praised for his performance. Peter Bradshaw says, really funny, open, generous performance. Perhaps the only disadvantage is that he upstages Starkey. But the Times came out and said they found it visually appealing but lacking in substance. So this is definitely one of those films. It's set to be at the New York Film Festival, so we'll see some more. We'll definitely see some more conversation around the film right now. More like critic reviews and stuff like that. One thing right now, we don't have a release date, I don't believe, for this film yet. I don't see one anywhere right now. But A24 did acquire the film, so that means we should have it announced for the release probably post-festival is what you can expect to see this film, but definitely in the conversation. Let's see here. What else do we have right now? You know what? I'm going to talk about this film, Nosferatu. I don't even know how to say it. Nosferatu? How do you say that, guys? Somebody hit me with that. You know what I mean? Nosferatu. But I'm going to bring it up only because my friend over there at Off Screen Central, Kenzie Vanunu, she's got this in her top tier right now. It's a film that she has not stopped talking about since she saw that trailer. The film stars Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, Ralph Anson, William Dafoe. It's a goth horror film from Robert Eggers. If you're a fan of Robert Eggers, you know he's worked from The Witch, The Lighthouse, Northman. I'm not a fan of all of those, but I will say this, that I do love his craftsmanship and work. And to be honest with you, it's a gothic tale obsession between a hunted young woman and the terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing an untold horror in its wake, is the name of the film. Focus Features is releasing this film. It's releasing on Christmas Day. Now, with that being said, there's going to have to be some things that have to maybe alter and change because of eligibility and stuff like that with some other critics groups. So it's going to be interesting to see if they get this film in front of other people. That's going to be the big question, right? Are you guys going to get this film in front of the people that need to see it before the voting body begins? Even like Critics' Choice. I'm part of Critics' Choice. I need to see this film if you want me to get it on your ballot for sure. But this is, like I said, Kenzie has ran in a rave. She saw the trailer, loved it. Cannot wait to see more of this film, but it's definitely in the conversation. A few websites haven't really put it in the fray per se, as some of the other websites have, but it's definitely it's got to be in the conversation. Robert Eggers, this crafty of the film, it's coming out Christmas. It's got something. It's got to have something. You don't just release a film right around Christmas time and give it what you're giving it without the conversation being centered around the potential. You know what I mean? The potential. That being said, let's see, what else do we have here? Saturday Night, a film that I did not expect to see in the conversation, I guess you could say, or even being talked about, but probably one of the most highly shocking praised films coming out of the Telluride Film Festival. It's obviously the movie Saturday Night. It's set in 1975. A 90-minute film is a dramatic recreation of the 90 minutes leading up to the moment when NBC's Saturday Night Live, or Saturday Night, later known as Saturday Night Live, goes live on the air for the first time. Gabrielle LaBelle plays Lauren Michaels. Rachel Sennott plays Rosa Schuster. Corey Michael Smith plays Chevy Chase. Ella Hunt. Dylan O'Brien plays Dan Aykroyd, and so many more. This one to me has me intrigued. Because there's so much chatter around this film right now. And it's crazy because obviously they dropped the film. They're staggering the release date of it now. So they really feel like they have something. They really feel like they have something right now. So that to me is something that's intriguing. That I think that's something to look forward to when it's all said and done. Because a lot of times when you have some films that are released this late in the thing, some of them just might be box office hits. Some of them might be, all right, are we going to do a little bit of both? Are we going to get the Oscar picks and some box office? We don't know. But this film, I wasn't sure. I'm still not sure. But I'll tell you what, one thing's for sure, I'm going to be checking it out. You know what I mean? Because this cast, pretty insane. Pretty star-studded cast from top to bottom. And to me, it's piquing my interest. I'll see what it's talking about whenever it comes out, but I'm definitely it's on my radar now. But yeah. So and then of course one film that could be in the conversation, but we're not exactly sure because it could go either way, right? Could this end up being oh my goodness, what is that movie that came out last year? I'm going to blank on right now, guys. Oh man, it came out last year. Joaquin Phoenix last year. What do we have last year? Because it's good. Joaquin Phoenix, perfect tie-in, right? Napoleon, right? Napoleon was kind of expected to potentially garner some award interest, but Gladiator 2. Ridley Scott's getting behind the director's chair for this one. It's serving as a sequel to Gladiator from 2000, which obviously was critically loved. The film went on to win, I think, Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound, and Best Costume Design. It was nominated for, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 Academy Awards. So yeah, hard film to follow up on, right? But the cast is strong. Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, And then, of course, my personal favorite, Denzel Washington, is in this. What does this film bring to the table, right? What does it bring to the table? Is this going to be a box office play? Is this going to be a little bit of both, like I mentioned with Saturday Night? I'm intrigued because honestly, it's man, like it's Denzel, it's Pascal. Woo, woo. Could this be in the conversation? It could be. It's Ridley Scott. You know, he's a great director when he's on. So if this is on, we could be talking about a big player in the award circle. But if it's not, then who knows what we're talking about, right? But let me talk about a few films that I think that might just be sliding a little bit under the radar, right? You know what I mean? Some films that are a little that aren't exactly on the 10, but are maybe possibly looking on the outside looking in if they get a little bit of a conversation. One is I'm going to talk about is A Real Pain. It's a film that I saw back at the 2024 Sundance Film Festival. It's written, directed, and produced by Jesse Eisenberg. It follows a mismatched cousins David and Benji who reunite for a tour through Poland to honor their beloved grandmother. The adventure takes a turn when the odd couple's tensions resurface against the backdrop of their family history. The film stars Eisenberg and Culkin. Kieran Culkin in the film, to me personally, this was one of the best films of the year, best performances of the year. These guys definitely, especially Kieran Culkin, belongs in the conversation for best actor. I'm sorry, he does. I think he's not supporting, right? Yeah, he's supporting. Sorry, he's supporting. I apologize. He belongs in that top 5, period, for best supporting actor. He does. His performance is honestly mind-blowing. They both give great performances, but I would really like to see Eisenberg's screenplay get nominated as well. It's a crisp film that I think should be in the conversation. It really should be, because honestly, it's great. It's great. Let's see. Let's talk about Blitz. Did I not talk about Blitz? I don't think I talked about Blitz. It's a historical drama directed by Steve McQueen, starring Saoirse Ronan, Elliot Heffernan in his film debut, Harrison Dickinson. But yeah, this is a defiant young boy goes on an adventure in London during World War II, only to find himself immense peril while distraught Rita searches for her missing son. This is a film that is scheduled to open the BFI London Film Festival. This is McQueen's third directorial debut, our third directorial effort after 2018 Widows, great film, and 2020's Mangrove. But yeah, this is scheduled to release theatrical in select theaters on November 1st and will be streaming on Apple TV on November 22nd. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see the conversation around this. It's going to be the opening night film of the London Film Festival on October 9th. So there's going to be a lot of chatter surrounding that film come post-festival. And that's a big thing, right? Some of these films that you don't know about, like, there's Night Bitch out there. There's The Substance that we do know about. There's Wicked. Is Wicked any good? You know what I mean? There's so many different things to really talk about right now. So many different movies. Maria, does that have a play? You know what I mean? Angelina Jolie is getting a lot of conversation about her performance in that. So could that carry over to several different nominations? Like I said, so many films to talk about. That's my time for today. I'd like to find out in the comments below. What do you guys think about the best picture race heading into this fall? Who do you think is going to be nominated? Who do you think is not going to be nominated? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. I look forward to covering more Oscars for you guys this season.